After the release of sexual assault allegations against activist Cesar Chavez, an RGV Hispanic organization, Lupe, released a statement on Thursday condemning his actions and supporting the women who came forward. How are UTRGV students reacting to the news, and what did the United Farm Workers respond with since the allegations? Perla Cortez reports on the details.
What initially sparked a national movement and inspiration for farm workers over 40 years ago now leaves some questioning the disguise behind the hero.
For Hispanics, it's good to have so many people that we look up to and people who fought for our rights, and so it's really upsetting, to just see all of that bashed. And I think it's also, in another way, a lot of people are looking down on Hispanics because of this.
La Unión del Pueblo Entero, Lupe, shared a post on Thursday stating, "We value the courage of survivors to speak out and value how and when to share their truths." It also stated how it will continue to support the movement for Hispanics and spark a change for the future. Cesar Chavez was an American political activist who formed a union to advocate for farm worker rights, United Farm Workers, alongside Dolores Huerta and Philip Veracruz. On March 17, 1966, the UFW started a march with over 100 Mexican-American and Filipino farm workers, traveling from Delano, California to the state's capital on foot to show the public and lawmakers on the mistreatment to farmers and demand fundamental rights. Fast forward to March 18, 2026, the New York Times had published an article of nearly 5 years' worth of investigating after a tip was received of Chavez's past. In the findings, multiple women came forward as sexual abuse victims, varying from colleagues to underage girls at the time. I spoke with 22 students on campus, and only a few students agreed to comment on the topic. Half of the students who denied the interview did not know about the allegations or knew who Cesar Chavez was. Biology sophomore Aliana Flores says the movement of United Farm Workers has a deep meaning within her family. She says she and her grandparents were a part of an annual march held in San Antonio to celebrate farm worker rights. Flores says although the allegations harm Chavez, she believes it should not harm the message of the movement, but instead highlight the importance of Dolores Huerta and honor her courage.
I can't imagine what type of trauma she must have been dealing with, but still, work alongside him because she knew that this was a problem that still had to be fought for, even if she was dealing with those things.
Integrated Health Science sophomore Katie Ortega also agrees with keeping the message alive. She says that prior to the allegations, Chavez was glorified, but after the allegations, Ortega says he is now humanized.
My first thought was seriously again, because I feel like we just keep hearing these stories about all of these public figures that have had these for lack of a better word sketchy pasts, and it's kind of how far does this go, And now after hearing all this, I feel like he's definitely more humanized. It's more seen that he is really and truly just like all of us, and he makes mistakes like all of us in that sense.
Since the allegations, current president of the UFW has put out a statement stating, "As a women-led organization that exists to empower communities, the allegations about abusive behavior by Cesar Chavez go against everything that we stand for. These disturbing allegations involve inappropriate behavior by Cesar Chavez with young women and minors. They are shocking, indefensible, and something we are taking seriously." KVQ-TV reached out to Lupe and Lucha Hispanic organizations for a comment, but none were made. For KVQ-TV in Edinburgh, Perla Cortez.